hard or things that's coming the way. Maybe some of you see it, some of you don't. Even your president talking about a family may be coming. So things like that where we can still come back together. It's funny how it's taking us back to the old school ways, where a lot of the old people, especially I remember like my grandparents, they all came together, bought food from each other, helped each other to get what they need to survive in hard times. And I believe that's what we're heading back to. So anyway, I'm trying to come together in our community where we can start building relationships with everybody. So when we get to the point we need things, we have people we can partner with who may already have those things we need, okay?
I don't have on, which I need to have on now. Okay. And it's been a while, been like 4 years since I really spoke, so y'all gotta give me a minute to get these spider webs off of me, right? It's been at least about 4 years since I spoke publicly. I used to speak on the regular. It's kind of been laying low. I'm gonna start off with this. Guess who is Dr. Copeland at TNC? I'm a traditional naturopathic consultant, as well as I do energy medicine practitioner. I also deal with color therapy and a couple other therapies as well. Like I said, from Lynchburg, Virginia. Originally, I deal with hip hop culture, which is the African arts originally. And I went around from the age of 9, Oxford, North Carolina, which is not too far from here, is where I originally learned the street arts. And I grew up around my dad, as you said previously, who was a holistic practitioner. And what he used to teach me when I used to go to school, most kids bring their medicine to school. I had like a little yoga cup with lemon and cayenne pepper in it, you know, when I held a cold to cut the stuff out of my chest. You know, my mom part, I'm just giving you a little brief history, a little bit of who I am. Mom's part of the family, it was Freeman's, a place called Brownstown, owned a portion of the Blue Ridge Mountains up in what's called 60. My great-great-grandmother was an Indian. That way, what they had to do in Virginia, you had to marry a white man to get some of your land back. Okay? Let me see. Y'all gotta give me a minute. Like I said, I gotta get these spider webs off of me. Once I get the rolling, I'm gonna get the rolling. Okay. Now, like I was saying, my grandfather used to tell me on my mother's side that my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, and my great-grandmother and them, they used to be called the root men or the root women, which means today like the medicine man. So I'm like probably if I look at it that way, I'm like 3 generations of dealing with natural healings and stuff. And then the family I mainly grew up with, now they was free. That was my grandmother. She was free from Texas in 1902. And her brother was given 300 acres in a place called Niggerhead Mountain. Okay, that's where all the, excuse my language, that's where all the niggas stayed. Okay, that's what they call it, Niggerhead Mountain. Okay, and also my grandmother who raised me, she was born 2 years later after that point once they moved here in Virginia. And the Irish part of where I got my name from, the Copelands, the Irish, they own most of Newport News, Hampton area. Okay, if you go down through that way, they used to own all the area, and then we still have some Africans that's in Portsmouth area that's Copeland's. Okay, my great grandmother was a Cherokee from Amherst County, so I'm also part of the Cherokee and the Blackfoot Nation. Okay, then I found out at the age when I got age 33 years old, I found out my great grandfather was a Buffalo Soldier. Okay. And I'm like, wow, okay, this thing's good. And then I looked at this more history. I also got people who's part of the Harper's Ferry. Any of y'all familiar with the Harper's Ferry with John Brown? Okay, that helped start the Civil War. Okay, go look up at John Copeland, you see that in there. Okay, let's move on. Then since 1991, I was introduced to the Awakening with me. Some of the stuff I'm gonna share with y'all today. One of the first things I got was called the Behold of the Black, or the Pale Horse. Anybody heard of that before? Behold of the Pale Horse? It's a very intense book. It actually, the guy who wrote, he used to work for the CIA. Of course, he got killed for his information.
Say it again?
He got killed for his information. Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. Okay. You can maybe you can find some if you're still around and stuff like that. You may can find it. By 1994, my son was born, and so when he was born, I didn't want to take him to the hospitals and all that. So that's when I really started getting more even though my dad was showing me stuff throughout the years, but when you're a kid, you know, young, you're like, whatever your parents say, you know, you really 100% listening, but it's still, you have it in you. So when I had my son, that's when I really started buckling down and started learning more about herbs and different things, because he didn't ever went to the hospital or doctor with me, okay? Then about 1995, I was introduced to people called the Nawapians. By 1997, I was introduced to the Pan-African. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Pan-African movement. Then with Marcus Garvey, actually goes back before then. My Baba was Bandeli. In 1999, I was in Dallas. I did some work in the community with the New Black Panther Party. Okay, we dealt with gangs, unifying gangs and stuff like that in the community, in the Dallas community. It went pretty well. We had up like literally every gang in one spot, okay, and they was at peace. So that was a very beautiful experience for me. Okay, that was before it really kind of got started over this way in this particular area of Virginia and stuff. The way it ended up, I guess, rising. Okay, in 2003, like I said, came back. She would say I started cultural awareness ministries or CAR ministries. Going around teaching some of the stuff I want to teach today. Like I said, my first program was called I'm Hip Hop Not Gangsters, because they a lot of the kids, the way they was dressing or whatever, they started labeling them at around 11 years old or so. Once they get into that middle school, they're hoping that a lot of them know when you make it to high school, because they want to put them in that prison pipeline, prison pipeline. If y'all familiar with that type of information, that's a whole nother lecture. But I also got DVDs and books up here that covers a lot of my lectures that I did over the years, if y'all really want to go into more detail. 2008 to 2011, I had a TV show in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Once again, it was a thing where I went around through TV this time, trying to teach different things that's going on, okay, around the United States. 2015, 2016 is when I started back really studying more again in the holistic field. And I became a certified holistic consultant in 2016. Okay, in 2019, my first time going to Africa, I went to South Africa. And in South Africa, it's quite a difference. It's more of a mixture, okay, versus when I went to last year, 2021, went to Ghana. And Ghana is totally different. It was like 99.9% nothing but Africans, okay? Which was also another wonderful experience. Like I said, in South Africa, it was like a mix. In Ghana, it was strictly Africans, okay? I have been probably, like I said, for over 25 years. Now, I'm going to have to do a medical disclaimer, just in case, you don't know who's in here right now. Before we get started, any information I share right now is just for educational purposes only. And I'm here to give any type of diagnosis or treatments of any type. The present information is placed in place of your physician or medical care provider. Now, is anyone in here that's working for or have worked for the law enforcement agencies like CIA, FBI, looking for some type of unlawful activity here today? If you are, raise your hand, please. Okay, hey, you got to ask these questions. Because under law, if you don't answer, okay? Yeah, we got to ask these type of questions. Not to be offending anybody, but I need to know who's in here. Okay, like I said, are we prepared for the 2030 agenda? Anybody heard of the 2030 agenda? Anybody heard of the 2020 agenda they had? How about 2010? 2000? Didn't hear about none of them, huh? I'm here today to kind of share some of this information with y'all, and hopefully I'll give y'all some awareness for your community, so we can be properly prepared mentally, spiritually, and physically. Okay, now, like I said a minute ago, we had one day was 2000. Y'all remember 2000? They talking about the end of the world. Remember Prince had a song called 1999. Here, that's going for a while, right? So, they was talking about all this end of the world stuff. Remember that? Okay, that was the beginning, really, of the computer age ready to go into effect. It was the end of the world as we know it. Let's move forward. I kind of speak on more of that in is our family prepared for 2000? In 2012, Mayan calendar. Remember 2012, they was talking about some end of the world type of stuff. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, they made a movie.
Yeah, and they made a movie, that's right. A movie called 2012. Okay, they dealt with the Mayan calendar, really. They dealt with a setting, okay? I'm not going to really go into all that. That's a whole nother lecture. Also, like I said, a lot of the stuff I do have already in my DVDs and books. Then what they had a delay in the switch from analog to digital. Okay, that's when they went into the digital world. Okay, everything computerized. Now finally, I don't know if y'all heard it lately, he's starting to talk about the NWF. What is that? The New World Order. How many of y'all don't heard about the New World Order? Finally. Okay, people like me was talking about this stuff over in the 90s. Okay, I'll be called conspiracy theorists and all these other things. But I was talking about these things in the 90s, you know, trying to get awareness to our community. And a lot of people, I don't have something. But now they finally talking about it again, right? So, it was first spoke of since 1990 with George Bush. Let's kind of hear what they said. I got a little clip, ain't that long. Y'all don't mind me showing this little 30-second clip, do you? Let's see what the man said himself. Oops. Went back too far. I thought it played.
Its founders.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
So y'all heard this. This was 30 years ago. They've been in the works for a minute. You also heard this thing will be the law of the jungle. What was that? That would be us. Okay, African Americans, we the first ones who do laws. Okay, we even have governmental systems. Okay, we go back to the first civilizations. Okay, but we don't get into all that. That's another lecture for another time. Okay, then it is also written on our dollar bill about the New World Order. Are y'all familiar with this? Okay, or those is not a new notice orders secrum, which means the new order of the ages, or the New World Order. And also, as you can see, they got an African pyramid. They got the eye of people, which is supposed to symbolize what's called Horus, the eye of Horus, which is another story. We don't get into that African history right now, but I'm just letting y'all know some of the symbolism that's right there. Okay, let's move forward. And they use the recent pandemic. I'm sorry, I know y'all think I gotta give it to y'all straight. I ain't here to sugarcoat anything. I got my permission from the elders to speak freely, so let me go forward. So the Plan A strippers of moral rights. What am I talking about right now? And the first move was in 2001. Y'all remember the 911 incident? Yeah, of course we do. And that summer that we had what's called the African World Order happen. Okay? And about 3 months after the African World Order, next thing you know, I guess they said, hey, we're going to do something now. So I guess they started, taking their own planes and driving them into buildings and stuff, Even the Pentagon there. I don't know if anybody went up there to the Pentagon and seen the area. Y'all never went up there? You got to ask yourself, how did this big plane blow up this? If a plane really fell in this area, it blew up that whole block. I mean, you just got to go up there and kind of see where the area at for your own self and kind of think for yourself and like, Okay, let's move forward. Then it came at that time what was called the Terrorist Act. Remember that? Then that dealt with anything that was terrifying, or terrible. Okay? All that's under the same category when you're dealing with the terrorists. Okay? And that could even, I speak of that in one of my books, because that's one of the things that I was doing with the youth, was telling about the hip hop I'm not gangster, because what they were doing, they finally came out with it, the Domestic Terrorist Act. Y'all heard about the domestic terrorists? Okay, there you have it. Some of y'all have, some of you haven't. Or they also got this a law called the BE, the Black Extremists. So someone like me, I'm under the BE category. That's why I kind of been laying low for the last 4 years, but hey, y'all call me out. I'm gonna come scream, okay? Let's move forward. They started at that time the Patriot Act #1. Anybody familiar with the Patriot Act #1 with Bush? Yeah. Are you familiar with what's even in the Patriot Act #1? That's going to be the most important thing. I advise y'all, if you don't know, kind of go into the information of it. Okay? Because some of it's going to be what I'm talking about today. Because you can see they will kill their own citizens, as you see with the 911, this to initiate an agenda. Okay? Now, which was originally, when they did the 911, was for the 2020 agenda. That's why I asked y'all ever heard of the 2020 agenda? Okay, that was the 2020 agenda that the 2000 thing happened. 2001 with the 911. Okay, man, 2020 agenda, y'all see how that's going right now. I see some of y'all still, y'all covered up, no disrespect, I love y'all, and it was a plan. Okay, now, who got a phone here? Y'all can look this up right now. Anybody got a phone? You wanna, you kind of, while I do this right quick, just take a couple seconds. Look up U.S. patent. Now, everybody know what a patent is, right? It means I own the rights to something, correct? It means somebody must have had to create it to get the patent, correct? U.S. patent, you see that? 0130701B2.
You said 01?
There's 1 0.
Oh.
Huh?
It's that 1 on the screen.
101.
Yeah, 101307001B2. Excuse me, give it a second, let's see what it comes up. What you say? What's the first word?
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Alright, this ain't what I want somebody. Now, when they first looked the patents up, they gave you all the information you need. As y'all may know, a lot of stuff is getting banned, stripped, you name it. Our rights, anything that's truth, they taking us down. Okay, so if you think y'all can Google everything, I heard somebody, I'm gonna Google that, shoot, what you talking about? Okay, if you wasn't doing the era of learning this stuff or got you a nice little library somewhere, a lot of this information you ain't gonna find nowadays. Or was fortunate enough to be around the right people to get certain videos and stuff that was left behind by different elders and stuff, then a lot of this information you ain't gonna find. Okay, because they banning it, they don't want you to know this stuff. Okay, as you can just see, you just heard, that's a patent, the coronavirus. Okay? So they ain't something from God and all these other things you might have heard them say. No disrespect. Okay? This is some real man-made stuff because they have a plan. Okay, let's move forward. Stripping us, like I was saying a minute ago, like the 911 coming up with all these different terrorist acts and stuff like that. Y'all must understand what's going on right now with the medical act. Okay, with the medical rights. Okay, your freedom to choose. Okay, the more we submit to these things and do as they say, you're losing all your rights. Why do you need that? Because of Patriot Act number 1, and then remember, Obama came in. He was talking about change, and y'all was just chanting on what? Yeah, we want some change. Didn't realize that he came up with Patriot Act number 2 that was worse than Patriot Act number 1. Okay, and within that Patriot Act number 2, they got the I'm gonna show y'all in a minute the RFID chip that they're gonna put in. Because once you lose your rights, then all they got to say, hey, this is what you have to do. Huh? And then they deal with the mandatory rights. A lot of people lost their jobs and stuff. Right? So we like I said, even more human rights, because we're dealing with human rights now. Okay? Now, like I said, unless it's African Americans, the only thing as far as the Constitution is concerned, unless you're part of a nation, okay, then it's only the 13th and 14th Amendment if you consider yourself Negro, colored, or black. Okay, the rest of the Constitution really don't pertain to us. I don't know how much you pledge allegiance and all that other stuff, no disrespect to anyone in here, but these are the facts. Only the 13th and the 14th Amendment was designed for us. I ain't gonna go into a whole lot of detail with that. Like I said, I do have videos that I do have already done lectures with that. Okay, we'll go into more detail. Now, this is also part of the population control. Any of y'all know about the population control right now? About them reducing the population, killing off billions, or if not millions of people? Y'all not familiar with that? Okay, this information, if y'all not familiar, y'all familiar with the Planned Parenthood? Okay, Planned Parenthood, what's his name? Something, Margaret Sanger. Look these things up, eugenics, if y'all not familiar with the eugenics program. Okay? This is them manipulating our cells. Okay, wanting to kill us. Then y'all heard of Henry Lack? Never heard of Henrietta Lack? Thank you. That's how you came up eventually with Herbie, with hepatitis A, B. Came up with AIDS eventually. Okay, that's how they made it in the laboratory. It has a patent too. Okay, the main target is us. Around here where I go around the world. The main target is us, Africans Americans. You got melanin in your skin, that's who they want. Okay? And why is this? Because they use our body parts for medicines. They even eat us. for food.
Lord.
Okay, these accountable. I got some video, but I've already done these lectures. I'll show you video, I'll show you actual footage, and I even tell you how much your body parts are worth. Okay? Like your liver is worth like $11,000. There are morgues right there in certain cities. By the time they get the body from the hospital, most of the organs are gone. Because they don't sold our organs. Okay? Melatonin. Y'all heard of melatonin. You know how they like to sit at the beach? Don't want to get too dark. Where do you think melatonin coming from? Melanin. The pituitary gland. Okay? They got the highest concentration of melatonin. Okay, let's move forward. I'm telling you, once I get started, it's going to be on. Okay, let me move forward. Since the 1980s, they have been investing billions, if not trillions of dollars in what's called the Star Wars program. Anybody ever heard of the Star Wars program? Now, this has been going on since the 1980s. Okay, with Ronald Reagan, he spoke of this. Okay, when he was talking about the same as, what was his name? Trump did. Let's make America great again. That's where he originally got that from Ronald Reagan. Okay? Now, what happened during the start, it's got a little clip, if y'all don't mind, I'm going to show y'all this a little quick clip right quick of what he said, 1980.
My fellow Americans, thank you for sharing your time with me tonight. The subject I want to discuss with you, peace and national security, is both timely and important. For 20 years, the Soviet Union has been accumulating enormous military might. They didn't stop when their forces exceeded all requirements of a legitimate defensive capability, and they haven't stopped now. During the past decade and a half, the Soviets have built up a massive arsenal of new strategic nuclear weapons. Weapons that can strike directly at the United States. My fellow Americans, tonight we're launching an effort which holds the promise of changing the course of human history. There will be risks and results take time, but I believe we can do it. As we cross this threshold, I ask for your prayers and your support.
Then y'all can actually Google it
Good night.
about the Star Wars program and learn more about what it is. A lot of stuff that's going on. That's how they ended up getting the technology and stuff on our phones and all this other stuff that we got today. That was part of the Star Wars program. Okay? Shooting missiles. They say it was like about Soviet Union, about Russia, but how long they been talking about that, y'all? Probably when some of y'all was little kids, right? About Russia. You gotta watch out for Russia, right? They've been talking about it. That's probably the propaganda that they use. Okay? Because you gotta understand, a lot of people from Russia, they help invent stuff for the space shuttle. They help invent certain drugs and stuff in the laboratory with the United States. So when they start doing their propaganda, trust me, it's propaganda. It ain't 100%. They have a plan. Whenever anything that you see them repeatedly pumping your head over and over again, for they can have you hypnotized, okay, and have your man like, trust me, it's an agenda behind it. It's something else you need to be like, I wonder what they're ready to do next. That's the first thing you need to say to yourself. Okay, let's move forward. Now, what are you doing? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, now, or are they preparing themselves for the star children? Okay, who is the star children? They also was known as the children of the sun. No matter where they went on the earth. Even this right here, what's called the East Coast, or the Atlantic Ocean, was called the Ethiopic Ocean. Okay, this was called Ethiopia, part of this, which means they see nothing but the burnt face. Okay, the people they ended up calling Indians because Columbus was on his way to India, but ended up here. He went the wrong way. He called us Indians, but it was nothing but Africans here. From, light skin to dark skin, with big, small noses to big noses. Okay? We was already here. So a lot of the propaganda with the slavery stuff. No disrespect for those that teach about the slavery and all this other stuff. I ask these people, I say, where are the slave ships? White folks love to put something in the museum. Have y'all seen a slave ship? Heard of a museum with one in it?
No, they just talk about it.
All they do is talk about it. And white person, they're going to put something in a museum somewhere, right? They don't care if it's this one board that survived the voyage, right? They're going to try to preserve it in some type of form of way. Just something to think about. Okay, and I'm not saying that the slave trade did happen, but not to the extent that they telling us it happened. Because the original people, like I said, the Blackfoots, the Cherokee, and all the different Indians that was here, okay, they ended up in the 1890s, start calling us, they started taking our rights from us, because that's when they started putting us on reservations, and as you know, as a reservation, they got to start paying us. We don't have to pay no taxes or nothing. Okay, so what they did, all of us that had any type of hue to us, they started labeling us as Negro, Black, or Colored. Okay? You can go try to find your own history. Like I said, when I did some of my history research, only went back to 1890s. Because after that, during that time back, you had your Indian wars. So they're not going to really have your history in there like that. Okay, they will wipe you out if you was an Indian. Because you're part of what's called the Dole's Rolls. If you can prove that you're an Indian, you don't have to pay no taxes, and they owe you a check every month.
Wow.
Let's move forward. Alright, now, like I said, we must prepare ourselves and our families and communities for about what's right ready to happen. It only takes one person to create a town or a village. Did y'all know that? Okay? Now, it takes around 1,000 people or so to have like a nice little small city. Now, like I said, 1 to 20,000 people to have a smaller town or city. Now, you can look at this up. The smallest U.S. population town is one. That's in Beaufort, Wyoming, and Willow Canyon, Arizona. Population on one person. Okay? And you look up also the tiniest towns in every state to kind of see what's actually the tiniest town in Virginia if you want to. How many people is populated in there. Okay, like I said, 20 to 100,000 make a kind of larger town or a smaller city like Lynchburg is considered a certain city or a bigger city, right? And then we also in Lynchburg, you got to look this up, a place called Cornerstone, Virginia. It's in 2000, this started in 2008, that's in Lynchburg. Liberty University, they got their own jails, they got their own police, everything. Okay? They're separated from what they call Lynchburg. Okay? So I say all this to ask, how is that could be important to formulate your own city or town when you have a society or a social group? In other words, there's enough of people in here right now who can start our own town or city. But what would be the importance of it? What could they do that? What would be the reason we want to do that? Well, let's look at it. It starts out with family, mother and father. Okay? Then you got community. In our case, my community, we had what's called a community council. We formed a community council. And then you have a city. Guess what's on the city? City council. Okay? And then if something ain't going right in the city, then we can move up another level. State. Huh? Guess what state have also? A council. Okay? Now, from there, if they don't want to act right, what's the next level? Federal. Now we're in Congress. We talking to our senators and stuff about what's going way back in our community that we not appreciate. Understand the importance of a town or a city? Okay? Alright, let's move. And you can create your own laws and rules. It's called ordinances. Okay? Let's move forward. Okay, many communities, they're using their own ancient modern ways of having like kingdoms. I don't know if y'all familiar with kingdoms. If Europe, remember they got the king. Now, within the kingdom, okay, remember they had my lord. He's my lord. Okay, all right, if you already watch any of that stuff, this stuff is real. This is where this stuff is also even coming into some of your religious texts. Because they are talking about the kingdom, because they had a moat around it. Okay, all the people kind of stayed within what today we would call a town or a city. Okay? Of course, for African tradition, it was totally different than what the Europeans were doing with this right here. Okay? Let's move forward. It seems, in my opinion, that we're the only people on earth here in America that's not focused on our culture as far as supplying jobs, shelter, food, economical resources that's needed to utilize within our own community. It's kind of what I was talking about in city or town. There's new gated communities, like I was just saying a minute ago. What city you go to right now, they have their own shopping centers, right? They, within walking distance, they got everything they need. And a lot of them got these big fences around them, don't they? And some of them have these guard stations, and it's like nobody in there yet. Like, man, this thing empty. Then you can go right for right now, but you got to ask yourself, why they got a guard thing right there for? Yep, like I said, having a nice community, it can also keep you out. Okay? They can have a lockdown like they just did, and this time they don't want nobody to come out of the community. All they gotta do is set some electricity to your gate. Okay. Man, they got homeschooling co-ops going on right now. If y'all not familiar about that, they also got food co-ops. Okay, where they come together and use the food. Some of y'all familiar with the food co-ops and stuff that's going on? Okay, we started one. I started one that helps our community back 2006 or 7. I was speaking on these things, so I told them that you gotta get prepared for what's to come. Okay, it went on good for a while, but a lot of politics ended up happening in the city, and a lot of that stuff did not. Well, I take that back. They turned a lot of it into it's called Lynchburg Groves. So there's a lot of community gardens that came together, because that was the objective. One of the objectives that I was trying to bring it to the communities, that try to teach the youngins, the youth, more than anything, how to grow their foods and stuff. Because they, and it came out, it did real well. They also have underground bunkers. Are y'all familiar with the underground bunkers? Okay. They in the Blue Ridge, they have an underground city. Did y'all know that? Okay, they've been at the underground city up in the Blue Ridge, up 81. Okay. Some say these underground cities, like especially out west and stuff, they saying that these tunnels and stuff leads to Walmart or Sam's Club. They're saying that's one of the storage areas. A lot of Walmarts and Sam's Clubs is getting shut down, but yet still standing there, and they saying supplies are in there. Okay, now I don't know how 100% that is, because I ain't went to one of the Walmarts to see them for myself, but I'm just telling you what the information is that's out there. Okay, they also got facilities with indoor farming right now. Big facilities, okay, bigger than this old building. Growing food, they getting prepared, they ready. Now, also making 3D meat. Are y'all familiar with this?
Yes.
No? Okay, let's share this with you. I know a lot of y'all love that meat. Want to get home, get you a steak, maybe a pork chop. Okay? But I'm trying to tell you, if you're going to these restaurants and stuff and love to go out, or even your local grocery store, you might want to think about it. Let's see what, y'all don't mind me showing y'all something right quick? Let me show y'all something right quick, if you don't know about it. Can y'all see everything pretty well?
Yes, sir.
All right. See, fat, blood, muscle.
We analyze the different components that make those beautiful cuts and try to figure out which are the key components that we need to mimic in order to achieve those beautiful cuts of meat. We identified 3 main components: the muscle, the blood, and the fat. These are the components that we need to mimic in order to reach the perfect, beautiful steak.
This is at certain restaurants that they already doing this at. In this case, some of y'all can't read the writing. They said meat distribution started in 2021. I know recently talking about the cows and stuff. It's a reason for everything that they doing. This is pork.
Even everybody food tastes funny.
Our technology can create whole muscle cuts, just as a cow can produce that, in a much more efficient way, with a lower cost, and of course, it's much better for the environment. This is the biggest problem we face today as humanity, and this is the best way to fight climate change, to deliver healthier solution and food to the entire population of the planet.
anything beyond or impossible, personally, I don't eat.
That's right. Very nice.
They tell you it's beyond or meat or possible meat, don't do it.
We can do the entire cow, not only one part of the cow. Steaks, roast, slow cooking, grilling, everything that an animal can do, we want to do the same or even better.
Yeah, they better than God.
More and more chefs around the world, more and more meat distributors, and we don't see a reason that this can't be in the table of everybody in every country around the world.
So you meat lovers, I hate to, turn your stomach, but you see what's going on out here, right? They not playing with us. They got ways to eat. They don't care if it's order 3D meat. They gonna eat.
They're doing seafood as well.
Yeah, seafood, they doing seafood, they come out. They doing vegetables yet?
I haven't heard that.
No, well, yeah, okay. Let me know when they start doing that.
You got me a Beyond Burger. I ate something 2 weeks ago. I don't want them on that.
Yeah, I don't do Beyond. I mean, I do holistic, which is them particular companies owned by Bill Gates and all them. They starting to take over some other companies too, but I say really get your research on who you eating right now if you want to go plant-based. Or look, most important, do it yourself. Make it yourself from scratch. That's what we want to talk about here today, okay? Let's ask ourselves, why are they planning on going underground for? Got to ask yourself that. Okay? Is it because they may know something the same as their ancestors did in ancient times when they built underground cities and tunnels during the Earth's many catastrophes? Are y'all familiar with the underground cities? This is one right here. Underground cities and ancient underground cities and tunnels. I ain't talking about the modern. They got modern ones now, but we did this thousands and millenniums ago because the Earth catastrophes have happened over and over again. It's written in our Bibles and stuff like that to give us the warning for those who understand, okay, of the exact times. And I speak on more of that, like I said, in my books, one of my DVDs, I kind of really break down that this is the underground city of the Rinkaku, okay? It's a whole lot more. Y'all can kind of actually Google that and find that information. That's something they don't really hide too much from me. Okay, I'll come to share some basic information, like I said a minute ago. We must prepare ourselves more than just to end New World Order. Okay, I know that they might be focused for some, or they might think about the wars getting ready to happen, all that different stuff to keep you, I guess, your mind off the real thing that's going on, which is Mother Earth is ready to have another upheaval. They haven't occurred in hundreds of years. Every 400 years there's cycles. There's 10-year cycles, there are 400-year cycles, there are 2,100-year cycles, and you got 10,000-year cycles. Okay? This one that we're in is called the Mondor Minimum. Was the last one. It's called the Little Ice Age. Okay, that's around the 1600s. Okay, that's one of the reasons that they had to leave from over Europe to find some food. Okay? And when they found it by any means necessary, they got it. Okay? And that's how a lot of us ended up in what's called slavery. Okay? Because they had to eat. Okay? And if I go back even farther than that, y'all heard of the Iceman or the Caveman and all of that? Okay, that was another period. It was about 6,000 years ago. I think they called it the Norm period. Okay, there was the Great Ice Age. Now, they were just starting to come out of the Ice Age. If you ran the late BCs, during the times of Moses. You read in the Bible, talking about Moses and Aaron going up into to cure leprosy, and those with blue eyes and all this other stuff, it's unclean. Okay, that's in your Bible. Okay, this is around the time of that particular ice age was getting ready to end. Okay, and we, the Moors, okay, the Africans, we the ones who went in there and civilized them and taught them what they knew. And what's called the medieval periods and all that, all them churches and stuff that's in Europe, all that was mainly built by us. Actually, the women. Okay, it was called the Sibyls. Are y'all familiar with the Sibyls? Okay, that was a very powerful woman group. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, what we have here? Now, like I said, as the universe is changing rapidly, it's not only that's here in the heavenly bodies, we have the whole universe is going through changes. Every planet, the solar system itself is going through these different changes, okay? And if you I've noticed in the last 3 or 4 years, I don't know if y'all been paying attention or any of y'all know about the crop losses. Y'all familiar with that? Okay, they back in 2019, they were going around some of the, they had a hashtag, no plant, what was it? Yeah, no plant 19, I think it was, or something like that. They had going on as a hashtag, trying to warn people about round about now, 2022, right? So then we're gonna have a food shortage, and as y'all can see, go to the grocery store, things looking pretty crazy. As a matter of fact, they take the same item and stretch it all the way across the aisle, don't they? Trying to make it look like something in the aisle, right? It's crazy. Trying to, psychologically mess with you, okay? But really, it's a food shortage that's happening. It ain't really hit yet. It's gonna really hit within by the end of the summer, definitely. Well, that's another story. Let's talk about this. Let's move forward. On top of that, all the meat and poultry industry is mainly owned by China right now. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
That's right.
Like Smith.
Okay. I think the only one that's not, I think Tyson, is the only company. Right? Alright? Okay. Tyson, the only company that's not really owned by China right now. All your food is owned by China right now. Okay, let's move forward. Now, cannot forget about TikTok. I'm starting to learn. TikTok keep popping up. Show me this TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
Owned by China. Now, let's don't forget about Zoom. Let's have a Zoom meeting. Everybody, let's get on Zoom, y'all. Have a Zoom call. What you doing? You giving all your information to China. Okay, let's move forward, y'all. We're going into the computer age or the robotic age. Also into a cashless system. Y'all familiar with the Bitcoins and all that stuff? That's going into a cashless system. A lot of the brothers and them, they be on IG and they spreading out their bread and all that stuff. Well, what you gonna do when it's a cashless system? I keep asking. Let's move forward. This system as we know it is gone. And then to them, they kind of feel that the agriculture age was the original age. You had the agriculture age, and then you went into the industrial age in the early 1900s. And now we into what's called the computer age or the robotic age. Okay? They feel the agriculture age is pretty much extinct because half of us ain't gonna even go outside and pick fruits better. We better go to a grocery store. You can have an apple tree right in front of your house. Okay? You'll go to the grocery store and buy an apple first. That's how crazy it is out here right now. That's how they got our mind trained to think. Okay? Let's move forward. Okay, many big companies didn't really care when they were talking about, either get the jab or lose your job. Which one you gonna do? I'm quick. Cool, I'm glad. Okay, why? Because a lot of companies, if y'all do not know, they turn into robotics. Okay, hey, why not? Hey, you don't have to worry about nobody calling in sick. Only thing I worry about is some repairs when something, get it some oil there and there, and then, make sure all the parts are working. Other than that, they can work 24 hours a day. Don't have to worry about them getting tired. Don't have to worry about no lunch break you got to pay for. None of that now. Okay? This day I got to buy the machine that might cost me $50,000 or something a piece, let's move forward, y'all. I know my time's kind of running low, so I'm just trying to go ahead as quick as I can without going over. Now, let's start off with this. Do you have any lighting? Do we have a blackout? Okay? That was spoke on a few years back. Are you familiar with the senator that I think it was Obama's time? She quit or something, and just before she quit, she was warning everybody about a big blackout. I can't remember what year, but y'all might can Google that and find out about it. The senator was talking about the blackout that's supposed to be coming. Okay, let's move forward. Do you have stored food for at least 9 months or up to a year? Canned goods, something. Okay, do you have any ways to provide clean water? Okay, I'm taking pre-order. We got filters, what's called gravity filters available. I'm gonna be taking pre-orders if y'all want ways to know how you can take rainwater or whatever and put it in this and then filter it out. We can at least have some clean drink water. Okay. Are you familiar with your neighbors within a block or a 10-mile radius? Depends on where you're at. Like let's say this place right here, they got at least a block here. Do you know your neighbors? Everyone. I know people don't even know the person right next door to them. I ain't even fooling with them. I don't like the way they live. You understand? That's how we act nowadays, right? They ain't how we used to be, right?
That's right.
Some of y'all other folks will tell me better than I can. Let's talk about it. Now, are you familiar with your neighbor's skill set? Okay, because you could be an electrician, you could be a carpenter, huh? You could be a plumber. You know, each one of us got some type of gift from God. But do you even know what your neighborhood skill set is? We got to learn these things, I feel. Because if you don't, we need to start today. Because this is going to be very important to know who next door, who might can fix a light bulb that you don't have. You don't know how to make lights from scratch, from just some wires and stuff. There's people that's like MacGyvers out here. Okay? Well, you ain't gonna know that if you when you say hi to them, good morning. How many of y'all even say hi, good morning to your neighbor? I bet a lot of y'all know. I know people. Just looking all crazy at you when you walk by. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Okay. Do we have ladies, young or older, that still know how to sew something? You know? How about crochet? How about knitting? Because we're going to have to learn how to make our own clothes. Okay? We don't got too dependent upon a certain society or a social group. Okay? That's why I asked you about earlier. Understand we got different social groups or societies within the United States. Okay? They kind of tired of holding us up on their back, so to speak. We're going to have to fight for ourselves, the African American communities, in many ways. Okay? Then, do you know how to make old school quilts? A lot of people taking their clothes to Goodwill and all this. We might need to use them old clothes and make something out of it. We're going to need it in the community. Okay? It's going to be very important. How about gloves, hats? Know how to make these things. Let's move forward. Okay? Do we know how to do any type of canning of our foods? We know how to make stuff from raw material. Like to make flour from wheat or take corn and make cornmeal. Do you know how to do that with the thing I can't think of what's called? It's like a rock. Yeah. Okay. Now they call that today. They call that organically or whole organic foods nowadays. Okay. That's what we used to use 50, 60 years ago, right? Y'all didn't have to go to the store for everything. Maybe got one or two things. But the rest of it, you did it at home. You had to go strip it. You can tell your hands get calluses on them, right? Okay. But not now. So we're going to get manicures and stuff now. We ain't going to try to dress up out. Man, you crazy. Okay. Do you know how to make your own fertilizer? Now I say this because I don't know if y'all heard this yet, but they're going to be talking about it more about fertilizer shortage. Okay? Now, we can make fertilizer out of leaves, poop, some basic stuff. Though if you got a community, y'all need to start maybe thinking about that. Hey man, save your leaves, dog. Don't just throw them, take them down to the dump and throw them away. Because we need to make us a little pile for those who ain't going, farmers and stuff, who going to need this stuff. Because especially they used to going to a store. Okay? Because we bringing this stuff forward because are you prepared for another lockdown? Because this one coming, I can guarantee you by the next election. Every election, you notice some type of propaganda happens. Whether it be some type of march or somebody getting killed that's in the blackmail. I have people running us on TV. But you understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's move forward. Now, are we spiritually, mentally, physically prepared? Anything happen or about to happen in these days and times? You got to act. Our health is our biggest wealth in defense during these times. Prevention measures are better than cures. Okay? Well, a lot of people like, wait, I ain't sick. I'm alright. Why you want to wait until you get sick before you go see somebody, like me or somebody that's doing, or a doctor, period. Okay? When we doing naturopathics, we trying to get you on a method where you can have preventive health. Okay? Alright. How do we also prepare our body, mind, emotions, like I said, for 2030? I had to give 10 suggestions right quick because I know my time. I went over my time. But I'm trying to hurry and end this out. Sorry about that. I'd like to give 10 basic views on basic health preparations, okay? Let's start here. Like I said, you already heard the medical disclaimer on how to kind of go through a little faster. I don't ate up a lot of time. As I said already, number one, first thing as you stated, we need water. Okay, how can you get clean water? Because we can go without food for 30 to 60 days. But let me put you somewhere and you don't have no water for about 3-4 days. And let me see how you can be acting and carrying on by that. And here's some factors. You can mess with your mind. Dehydration is very crucial to the body. Okay, it can cause your blood pressure go up, diabetes, that's all crazy. Different aches and pains. Y'all wonder why I got certain pains and aches? Because you got either dehydrated, swellings and stuff going on in your body. A lot of that stuff comes from dehydration. Okay? Skin all flaky and crazy and then be dehydrated. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, start now if you haven't already changed your diet and build your immune system. They call it immune system, and rebuild your body from a cellular level. That's what we do. In my work, we do more. We try to look at things from more of a cellular level, because everything is made from a cell. That's very. You need a microscope to even see what we're talking about. Okay, let's move forward. You need help. You need to learn about how to properly do certain things. Find a holistic practitioner. Matter of fact, you call me at this point because I'm in. Okay, and maybe I can give y'all some pointers and stuff. Okay, you need to cut back and if you can, eliminate this alcohol if you're in your refrigerator. Margarine or butter, the worst thing you can have in your refrigerator. Okay? Let's start there. Then we're going to move forward. All refined foods, flour products. We're looking at all white flour products enriched and bleached breads and stuff. You can find this on your if you just read in the ingredients. Okay? Refined pastas, pizzas, noodles, white rice, any refined grains. You want unrefined. Okay? There's still a whole wheat, and it's got the whole, when it refined, that means that I broke it down and stripped it of X, Y, and Z. Okay? Cookies and donuts. Excess of carbohydrate foods like potato chips. Now, I'm guilty of that. I love me some potato chips, unsalty or whatever. But it's a potato, and it's going to turn into sugar. Okay? We ain't gonna talk. You got diabetes and carrying on, you messing with your diabetes. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's move forward. Body can break down unrefined, like I said a minute ago, flour products down better than they can that's been fully stripped of its nutrients content. Okay? Then cut back and cut out all refined unorganic sugars, products, and sweeteners. Then you can look on the back of stuff, they're gonna say dextrose, sucrose, glucose, maltose, and corn syrups, half fructose syrups. You see a whole bunch of them names on the back of stuff? Put it down, keep moving. Alright? Why? Because these things will form mucus in your body that is weakening your body systems. Okay? Making you have high blood pressure, making you have diabetes, making you have aches and pains and stuff that you're going to need to be in full shape when stuff goes down. Okay? Sugary drinks of any kind, unless it's from natural fruits that you don't pick yourself or got from the store, whatever the case may be, and blended it up in a blender with a little water. Okay, sodas, hang them up, get them out of your way. That's the worst thing you can have in your body. Coffee, I know y'all love coffee, but put it up, it ain't good for you. I had a client, he was like, well, I take my nutrients in the morning. He said, I take my nutrients in the morning, but as soon as I get ready to go out the door, I take my cup of coffee. I said, do you know what you just did? I said, that coffee is like a bunch of gangsters. They done came in and said, shot up all your nutrients and killed you. Just that quick. Okay, sports drinks. Energy drinks that he's talking about, these energy drinks. High caffeine. We want to start now trying to train our body and mind to pretty much enjoy clean, fresh water. Okay? Because them other stuff, if you look at it, is actually like drugs. Okay? Especially sugar. It's one molecule away from crack, if you did not know. Okay. Now the brain, 75% water, the blood, the lymph, the joints, like I was just telling you about the joints aching, is 83% water. This is just a little chart about how the different body parts is mainly nothing but water. And so you ain't drinking, if you drinking Kool-Aid, tea, coffee, everything but water, then you're not hydrating or moisturizing or giving these organs what it needs to function properly. Okay, let's move forward. Avoid eating out as much, consuming rancid oils from deep fried foods and restaurants, grease and stuff turn rancid. Okay, I suggest do community dinners instead. We used to do community dinners at least once or twice a month in our communities. Kind of get in touch with the community, and also you can do things with charge for plates and stuff like that to take that economical resource, become self-efficient, and use it for other projects and things in your community, or maybe supplies. And you're gonna need seeds or whatever you may need. Okay, we also see that the introduction of the mark of the beast. Are you familiar with the mark of the beast in Revelations? Okay, a lot of people were saying, well, The COVID thing going on and do this is the mark of the beast. Y'all familiar with the RFID chip? Okay, this was made in Texas. It's called an RFID chip. And in Switzerland and places like that, they already put them in people. Okay, their whole society, this is how they function. Buying things and everything else. Remember, Revelation can't purchase or anything, right? Without some type of 666 mark, right? But guess what the 666 mark they just now trained us on to get us started for? It's called the vaccine card, that the COVID card, you remember? A lot of people, I heard some preachers like, oh, that's not no mark of the beast. There ain't no mark of the beast. Yes, it is. Think about it. Certain cities, you can't even go into a restaurant. What's a restaurant? It's a place to go eat. Yeah. Can't go buy food, right? Now, the Bible was written 2,000 years ago. They wasn't thinking about restaurants. Understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, let's move forward. Sorry about that. Avoid as much non-foods. What I mean by non-foods? Microwave foods. We're looking at prepackaged meats, hot dogs, and bologna. Y'all familiar with bologna hot dogs made from, aren't you? That's the leftover stuff that they couldn't use. And just squish it all up and made it to one little thing for you to eat.
That's right.
We sitting there like, and put a little cheese on it. Maybe a little ketchup and mustard. You know what I mean? Make it taste right. Right? Okay, eat at a fast food restaurant like I just said. Eat more organic foods, as I already mentioned, local gardens, farmers, co-ops. If you can get some, diet more blended fruits and vegetables. Increase our fiber intake with plenty of water. Foods from a lot of stores have pesticides, herbicides, and other chemicals. And of course, a lot of them been picked early before its maturity. And a lot of things that you used to know from, oh, you got to wait until it falls to the ground sometime before you pick it, right? Okay. But we get it before this thing starting to turn, it's still green. Avoid unsaturated fats and oils like vegetable oil, corn oil, excessive saturated fats like meat products, lard. Avoid oils that cannot withstand a lot of heat. Okay, better oils like unsaturated oils, cold pressed oils. Okay, by coconut oils or olive oils, which the body can utilize to break down stuff much better. Also need to learn how to make your own oils if you're a person that need oils or some type of butter. Remember, you can find somebody, the Amish people. The Amish, I just seen one on my way here, and I stopped and got some, because they will be some of the people we could go to right then, unless we start getting our farmers to act right, that make that stuff from scratch. You can go get your eggs from them, the basic stuff that you're gonna need, meat, because they do things organically. It ain't all them pesticides and all them other things that they've been doing. Even down to our milk. You want grass-fed, antibiotic-free cow milk if you want to drink milk, okay? There goes for your ice creams. They got to try to cut that stuff out. Milkshakes, all this stuff causes inflammation in our body, mucus, and sicknesses, okay? Try to use milk substitutes like almond milk, coconut milk, hazelnut milk, okay? You can take pecans and little water in and make milk, okay? Try to buy organic meat products, grass-fed, like I said, antibiotics for chickens and cows and meats. Many coaches, if you know it or not, even us, we really didn't eat a lot of meat until around wintertime, okay? Because during this time of the year, this is when we go pick berries, we can do a lot of picking and everything else we need to do outside without killing something. Okay? Now we got to avoid alcohol, drugs, and if you can, depending on any medical conditions, try to find a natural alternative to lessen or discontinue the use of your medications with the supervision, of course, with your physician. Why would I tell you to try to find alternatives and reduce it? Because right now, a lot of y'all getting it for free, ain't you? Well, guess what? They're going to cut that out. So what you going to do then? Okay? And you can't get your prescription of medications that many people are dependent on. Feel they can't live without it because the doctor told them they can't live without it. Okay? A lot of it may be true and a lot of it ain't true. Okay? I'm not the one to speak on that. You can come to my office privately and we'll talk more with them. Okay, let's move forward. Growing organic popcorn could be a choice. Like I just said, go and pick. This is the time of year y'all can start picking for berries, strawberries, raspberries, cranberries, apples, cherries, dandelions, creasy salads. All this stuff is everywhere right now. Okay, we go get it, gather it, find a way to dehydrate it out, find a way to store it. Herbs like peppermint, different barks from trees. Learn what these things are. Hibiscus, camellia, dill, honeysuckles, walnuts. If y'all not familiar with walnuts, in the whole of the walnut. Very nutritious, very good for parasites and stuff. The black stuff that's in the walnut, okay, they actually sell that stuff. And I forgot how much it is a pound. It ain't cheap. Okay, and walnuts are everywhere, right? Black walnuts we're talking about, black walnuts. My bad. Herbs mainly grow in patches, okay? Money herb can grow in patches, or you can also get an app called Plant App that you can just scan it and it'll show you what type of plant it is, and then you go look up the medicinal properties of it. If it's good, what type of, if it got anything you can use for it. Like I just said about indoor planting, different kits available. Communication, you gotta learn how to communicate without cell phones and computers. We gotta find a new way to do this. We did it for what, how many years? Think about it now. It was just recently, what, last maybe 20, 30 years that we feel we can't go without a computer?
Yeah.
Or cell phone. We had to use our beeper. We was good with the beeper. Okay? Let's move forward. Solar energy. Okay, then also we got to make generators that do not require electricity or gas. This stuff been out since the 1920s. Y'all heard of the Tesla cars, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the Tesla cars come from Nikola Tesla. Okay? From the 1920s. He had a lot of inventions. That was before Edison came out. He wanted to make wireless, which we have wireless now, but he wanted to make wireless connections instead of for your home where you can have free electricity. And by the end of it, Edison had made him, he's like, no man, we get money here. What? Free electricity, what? They ain't having that, right? So let's move forward. Community support groups, resources, and even health alternatives, like something like Ms. Link is doing right now, trying to start formulate support groups or alternatives where we come together like y'all just did, work together and try to figure out how to build something and make something together, okay? Same thing with this situation that we will in and going through and gonna get even worse, okay? Community protection as well. Like I said, I know I'm rushing through this because my time is way over. Protection as well, EMF frequency. I do have some stuff about EMF over here. I do have some protections for your cell phones. If y'all not familiar about putting your cell phones in your laps and your head and what it's doing to your body, I do have that information for you. Also got some protections for you. Also got bands as well to help you from the radiations that's attacking our body. They affect our cells. Also got some over here to kind of tell you the list of different body effects. A lot of things that you might be going to the doctor for and he giving you a pill for, it might be because you're sitting in that computer, in front of that computer all day. Or your big 80-inch screen TV, you know. And all that frequency hitting you in your head, boom, boom, hitting you in your body, okay?
But you mean like the blue light?
The blue light, yeah, you can get a blue light glasses and stuff too. Yeah, that help your eyes and stuff like that. But it ain't gonna help you with your cellular. We have equipment to help get it out of your cells. It's called electric smog, or smog of the cells. Okay, this is real stuff. Y'all can look these things up, and like I said, I do have a little information here with me for y'all to see. These are some of the, like I said, many things we can start doing to prepare ourselves for the earth's catastrophes, and definitely even for man's law that's happening right now, right? Okay, if you'd like more information on how to rejuvenate yourself or ways that you have alternatives and better do prevention measures, this is better than cure. I know I'm trying to go as fast as I can at the same time, think of everything. So sign up or you can give me a call right now and set up an appointment or a consultation with y'all and see where your current state of health is right now. Like I said, don't wait until you get sick. Let's see where we have technology that if you've been sick when you was a baby, a lot of this stuff is still in your body. And if you've never done nothing to get it out other than take antibiotics, which actually suppressed it and made it up under some, like swept it under the rug for now, okay, until you got older, until something else come up, then that gonna come up and on top of what you now got. So we don't get, so definitely get in contact with me if y'all interested in learning some things in advance about yourself. And I'm ending this with special thanks to this dollar ain't thanks. And her family. All right. Let's do that.
Look, I call him Bernard, but let's give Dr. Copeland a hand. I'm sorry we pressed the time, we'll allow 2 hours, so like he said, his information is up here. If you want to give him a call or contact him, just let him know.